Today I'm going to talk to you about where you're most likely to get a job as cabin crew. So thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel. I am in the process of publishing a number of videos on cabin crew related topics, and today I'm going to talk to you about cabin crew region predictions and where you're actually most likely to get a job as cabin crew in the next few years. So I know there's lots of you out there who are dying to become cabin crew, and why not? It's an amazing job, right? You get to fly around the world, you get to stay in lovely hotels, you get to work with different people every day, you get to deliver great customer service, hopefully. It's an amazing job. But one of the questions that you might be asking is, where do I get this job? Where am I most likely to be successful? Lots of you will be applying for the major airlines. So I'm based in the UK. If you're based in the UK, you're probably going to be applying for Virgin Atlantic, British Airways. They're the top two. Maybe you fancy venturing a bit further away and you're going to apply for Emirates or Etihad or Qatar. Or perhaps you're going for some of the low-cost airlines, EasyJet, Ryanair. So there are lots of options for you. Oh, charter airlines as well. You might go for a charter airline. Thomas Cook, for example, although that might be seasonal employment, which not everybody is looking for. Excuse me. So, which kind of airline are you most likely to be successful with? Lots of people will essentially work their way up. So they might start with a budget airline to gain experience and then apply for some of the more prestigious airlines. But in all honesty, you really don't need to do that. Each airline is looking for the right kind of person. They're looking for the right person who will fit with the brand, who will fit with the type of airline that they are. For example, Virgin Atlantic are often looking for quite a different type of person to British Airways. Virgin Atlantic's more about fun, they're more about looking great, about being super friendly, and whilst being friendly is important to the likes of British Airways, it's a different type of friendly. It's more of a professional friendly. They're more upper class. Not to say that Virgin aren't, but British Airways focus themselves more on the sort of premium product, their business class cabins, their first class cabins. Did you know the Queen flies with British Airways? Oh, wow. There's a fun fact for you if you didn't. So different airlines are looking for slightly different people. So you could put the exact same application form in with two different airlines and you might be successful with one and not with another, for example. So I wouldn't say that you necessarily need to work your way up and start with the budget airlines or the charter airlines and work your way up to the scheduled. Have a look at what the airlines are looking for and see what suits you best. See what kind of airline you think your personality is most aligned with. So anyway, back to my little chart here. This is some research that was done by Boeing. So they've published approximate figures for the amount of new cabin crew that are likely to be required in different regions across the world. Now, as you can see, Europe's doing pretty well, but Europe, let's face it, is a really busy place. We've got a lot of flights going around. It's all a bit iffy if you're based in the UK at the moment with Brexit. I have published a couple of posts, actually, blog posts on Brexit. If you weren't aware, my cabin crew website is a subsidiary of my main travel blog, which is lifeasabutterfly.com. If you haven't had a look at the blog, please do check it out. Follow me on Facebook. I like to hopefully put lots of interesting travel-related stuff, or Twitter or Instagram. You can find me on all of those. So do take a look. I'd love to connect with you. So anyway, I recently published a couple of blog posts on my main blog, Life as a Butterfly, and that's all about Brexit and the impact that might have on travel and tourism. And potentially, you know, if we don't have a deal, aviation might be completely halted. A lot of people say that this is scaremongering, but it is not, actually. It's not. It really could happen. So Europe is, for us in England, certainly, a bit of an unknown at the moment. Airlines such as Ryanair are talking about upping sticks and moving and not flying to Britain anymore and all these sorts of things. So we're not quite sure. But the current prediction is that there will be 173,000 cabin crew required in Europe over the next few years. So that's pretty big. North America's pretty big, not far behind at 154,000. The Middle East is pretty big, and actually, if you think about the population of the Middle East compared to Europe, I don't have the figures off the top of my head, but just Google the Middle East. There's lots of vast desert. You know, there are areas such as Dubai, which are quite built up, which are very built up, but in general, there is not the level of population that we have in Europe by any means. So the fact that they're going to need 96,000 new cabin crew is amazing. So your chances of getting in there with Etihad, Qatar, Emirates, they're pretty good right now. So if you're prepared to move over to the Middle East, and they do give you amazing accommodation, really good money. I know people who've come back from working for Emirates for 2 years and had a 20 grand deposit saved for a house. You won't get that working in Europe. I very much doubt that. So, you know, the Middle East could be a good bet. But if you look at this map, you can see that it's the Asia-Pacific region that really is growing. And they're really, really growing fast. 308,000 new cabin crew predicted in the Asia-Pacific region. So that might be, for example, working in Japan, Singapore, some of the big airlines, Thai Airways, Cathay Pacific. You know, these areas are really growing. So that's a really big growth point. So when you're looking for cabin crew jobs, think a bit bigger than England. If you're prepared to go and live abroad for a bit, then have a look at some of these other airlines, because these areas are really growing. So there could be some really great opportunity for you there. So that's my summary of where you can get cabin crew jobs and which areas or which regions are most likely to be successful in the future. If you want any more help on becoming cabin crew and applying for a job, please do visit my website, becomingcabincrew.com. I have some excellent resources for you. I've recently published a book in 2019 that's now for sale on Amazon, and I'll post the link to that underneath the video. And I've got a couple of courses that you might be interested in too. I've got my Ultimate Becoming Cabin Crew course, which covers everything you need to know. And I've also got a course that's focused just on passing the assessment day, which is something that I've seen a lot of my followers are actually asking about. So, you want any extra help, feel free to drop me an email, send me a message. Oh, and do follow me on social media too. Cheers, guys. Have a great day.